Check, 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 check. You guys, check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, 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 check. Mic check, check, check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check.
Mic test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Testing 1, 2, 3. Good.
It's probably just because I know it works. I put that to your stuff. Okay. Just in case it falls. You like those mics? I see you have the new Sennheiser one.
These? Yeah, that's pretty much all I have right now. I have a malt box too, if that will help.
Yeah, well, I don't have time to go grab my
Yeah, we'll put it right here.
Book dedication, so. I'm not even sure she knew I was going. I called her a minute ago and she said, "Where are you?" I said, "Well, I'm in Cincinnati."
Tell her we asked about her. We asked. Y'all okay? Well, I was just joking with the commissioner. It really wasn't a joke. She and I talk every Monday morning with all the health directors, health commissioners around the state of Ohio. There's 113. And she's the one that is always the most positive and always has great ideas. So I want to also say something about Alicia Reese, who's been talking to me for some time about doing mobile clinics. So I just want to congratulate the city. I want to congratulate the county, Hamilton County, City of Cincinnati, doing a really great job in getting these vaccines out. We're now at the point where it is so very, very important that we get the vaccine out and take it to the people, take it into their neighborhoods, take it into their communities, make it available. When I talked to several people over there and several inside, they were so, I said, why'd you decide to get the vaccine? And the answer almost every single time is, I wanted to go see somebody. I wanted to see my mother. I want to see my brother. I want to see my grandkids. I want more freedom. And that really is what this vaccine really is all about, is giving us freedom. We've got about 41% of the people of the state of Ohio who are vaccinated. Within a few days, we hope that we'll have a new group opening up, those 12 to 15. And, some people might say, well, what's important about the 12 to 15? They probably don't get too sick if they get it. The answer is that some do, most don't, but that this group certainly can spread just as much as adults can. So if we're going to knock this virus down the way we really need to do it, we've got to have more than 41% of the population. We've got to continue to go. And, it's sites like this that are going to enable us to really get back to normal this summer. And I'm very, very optimistic. but we have to just keep going. We cannot give up. We're like a football team. UC is driving, or the Bengals are driving, and we're the other guys down to the 4-yard line, and we just can't walk off the field. We got to keep going and finish the game up. So I'm going to have the commissioner come up, and then Alicia Reese, and then we'll take questions. Commissioner? She told me I could hug her. I figure if the health commissioner says I can hug her, it's probably okay, right?
Well, thank you, Governor. Thank you, Commissioner Reese, for being here. You know, we're in the second phase, and this second phase is the next steps. And we're taking the steps to go into our communities to take it to where people are. We know that there are a lot of challenges. We want to make it let's reduce the challenges and have opportunities to have conversation. It's about a conversation. You heard the governor talk about asking people why. I have a theory based on a pharmacist at Kroger's. He said at the end of the day, he goes through the store and he asks people, you want a vaccine? People are one ask away.
I like it.
So all of us, we're one ask away from convincing someone to get a vaccine. We've shared before, it's about talking to people that you know. We're trusted voices. Everybody in this community has a role to play, and we're all trusted voices. So let your voice be heard. Ask your neighbor, have you been vaccinated? Let's talk about it. I have asked Nurse Jenny. Ask Nurse Jenny if you come to any of our sites and she's there. She'll answer the questions. We have other nurses that will provide you information as well. So come on, Cincinnati, we can do this. We're in this tunnel and we're trying to get out. Come on, let's get vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore has been very creative, aggressive, and has been able to pivot when necessary, and I want to thank her for her leadership. I want to thank Governor DeWine. One of the things we talked about on my radio show with him about in February, we said, hey, can we get the vaccine to churches? That was on a Friday. Wednesday, we were in the churches. Then we said, Governor, can we take the vaccine to the people? How can we get rid of the barrier of the pre-registration? Governor came and said, we're done with pre-registration, and I was part of the walk-up, first walk-up clinic in Hamilton County. Was at the Board of Elections, and people were wrapped around the building because they got rid of that barrier. I said, Governor, we got to go mobile. Let's take the vaccine to the people instead of the people trying to find the vaccine. And I'm just excited today that we have 2 mobile buses, vans here. Hamilton County Commission, we voted for. We're going to have a mobile bus moving out. And so we are in the second phase. The first phase, we're making sure that our seniors have gotten vaccinated, and we've done that. Now we're in the next phase of the younger generation, ones who want to get out this summer, want to have a good time, but we've got to make it convenient for them. They're used to getting the app. They're used to hitting a button, making it real convenient. So that's what we're doing today. I want to thank the library for opening up their doors, a place where people come all the time. And I want to say that we're going to be announcing a new marketing strategy that will go to the young people. We're going to be everywhere. We're going to be on TikTok and everywhere they are. And we're going to have these mobile vans going all over the place, whether it's at the Dora downtown during the Reds game, or like today, we're announcing, me and Commissioner Moore are announcing, we will be at FC Cincinnati opening day. So opening day, you can go to the game, but get your shot on your way in. So these are the kind of creative things that we're going to do, and I want to thank the governor, because I probably bug him to death. I text him all the time, but he moves really quick to help us out. We've got to throw everything we can at COVID. We are also at the movie theaters. We pulled up at Kenwood movie theaters. So look for these buses, look for these vans. The vaccine is coming to a neighborhood, a community, an event, a happy hour near you.
I want to thank the library, absolutely magnificent library.
Sure,
Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you.
We're grateful.
Very briefly, I'm Paul. I'm from the library, and we're so thrilled to be here. Have our rock stars from the Health Commission, as well as Commissioner Reese, and of course Governor DeWine. We have a new site here. We are really partnering to get the vaccine sites at a number of libraries across the city and the county. So look for more information on that. Thanks to all of our healthcare workers who are out here today. The library is here for you. This is a new site, opened in middle of April, and we're so happy that you're all here and that Governor DeWine came on down to highlight this and also the important work of the vaccination effort here in the county. So thank you very much.
So I might add one thing. They have a choice here. They can get Johnson & Johnson out here, or they can go inside and get the Pfizer. And they're telling me that I guess Johnson & Johnson maybe is winning so far today. but it's all about choice and giving people that opportunity, which I think is a really positive thing. So we're happy to answer.
Governor, I know there's a lot of people that are following the standard that you set, that 50 cases per 100,000. It does not appear that we're moving much closer to that number. And so you had mentioned some time ago that you were looking at the possibility of changing the metric. Are you any closer to making a decision?
Well, let's talk about the 50. That every day we are getting closer. Now we're not moving as fast as we would like. I think we picked up a couple points yesterday, and the day before we picked up about 5 points. So we're lower than it's been for a number of months. I think it was 138, and we hope that continues to go down. I don't think anybody knows what the magic number is as far as what percentage of Ohio's population needs to be vaccinated before we really drive this to the ground. But what we do know is that everybody that gets vaccinated, that's one more person who is not, in all likelihood, is not going to get it, and it's not going to pass it, not going to spread it. So we've already basically removed about 41% of the population from being spreaders, and we just have to continue to move forward on that. So as far as whether we set another goal, I'm not really sure. I think, frankly, that whatever goal we set, that when we have 50, when we break 50, would be probably when we would cross that line as well. I mean, you could come up with a line of 55, 60%. I know the president is talking about 70% by July. Is that doable? I just don't know whether it's doable or not. But I can tell you, if we would get 70% in Ohio, this virus is going to have a really hard time infecting too many people. So the more we get, the better it is, and places like this just make a huge difference.
Governor, what would the state be willing to do? What would you be willing to do to either incentivize or penalize people to get the vaccine?
Well, I think what you're starting to see is a kind of a natural distinction being made. For example, a couple things the state has done. We've said that it really makes no medical sense for someone who has been fully vaccinated, who is exposed then to have to quarantine for 14 days. And we've said, so if you've been fully vaccinated, no longer do you have to quarantine. That's of particular importance, I think, to an athlete. We've heard our athletes, our high school kids who've had to quarantine, miss games, miss important things. So I think that should be an incentive. If you're an athlete and you want to have your season, you don't want to be quarantined, it should be an incentive to get that vaccination. We're doing the same thing in our nursing homes. We're doing the same thing in regard to our assisted living. We announced this week that if you work in assisted living, you work in a nursing home, and you are fully vaccinated, you no longer will have to be tested twice a week. Everyone who works in those places in Ohio has to be now tested twice a week. I don't care where they are. And if people want to avoid that test, then they can get vaccinated. You're seeing the private sector start to make decisions. You saw the NFL at the draft. They had an area where you could only go into if you were fully vaccinated. So look, there's so many reasons to get vaccinated, and I think you're going to see more and more reasons as we move forward. I know some states have come up with $100. Look, we're looking at all kinds of things. If we can figure out what would really incentivize people and pick up a significant number, we would certainly do that. And we're still looking at that.
How about financially incentivizing companies to get their employees vaccinated?
Well, I think there's a real incentive for companies to do it without any money, and that is to have a workforce that does not have to be off because they get the virus, or does not have to be off because they've been exposed to the virus. So there's a real incentive for companies. I was on the phone today with a number of businessmen, businesswomen, and a number of them are bringing the vaccine directly into the company, and that's what we ask them to do, because we know that will encourage more people to get it.
Is there another standard or rule that currently exists that you could relax that might encourage more people to seek the freedom that you mentioned with the
Well, I'm open to suggestions. Seriously, I talk all the time. We look at this every day. What else can we do to encourage more Ohioans to do this? We're not going to compel them to do it, but we are clearly moving to a point where people who have been vaccinated are looking up and say, look, I've been vaccinated. I've done what I'm supposed to do. Why do I have to do some of the things? Why do I have to wear a mask anymore, et cetera? So we're not there yet, but this summer, by the time we get into the summer, things are going to look pretty normal in Ohio. You're going to see more people at baseball games. You're going to see, other restrictions taken off, and so we're getting there. And so now's the time to get vaccinated. We're in this kind of strange situation where we've got 41% of the people of the state are vaccinated and are pretty darn safe, but if you're not vaccinated, we've still got a virus that is circulating, and it is more contagious than it's ever been. And so it's kind of a strange time, safe for one group, but even more dangerous for another group than it's ever been before. This is a dangerous time if you have not been vaccinated, because this virus is so contagious, and it's still out there.
What type of impact do you anticipate 12 to 15-year-olds, once they're approved to get the vaccine, having on that 41%?
Well, I don't know, but we can get some indication by looking at, I had our team break out 16 and 17-year-olds, and then 18 and 19-year-olds. And we've vaccinated, about a fourth of them in a relatively short period of time. And keep in mind, they have to get the parents' permission. They got to get, parent to sign it, and so it's more complicated. And we've hit about a quarter of that group. So I would hope, that we would see the similar uptake, at least, among, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. And so I think it's, I'm optimistic, and we are already making plans to take this into boys' clubs, girls' clubs, where food is being distributed this summer, any place there are people. Now, look, we're not going to vaccinate a child unless the parents are given permission, but making that available, making it convenient for people, this is the ticket back to normal, and I think more and more people are realizing it. Look, I talked to a gentleman over there a minute ago, and I don't know how old he is, but clearly he's been eligible for a while to get it. And he made the decision today or yesterday to come in, and his son brought him in. So I just think you're seeing more and more people, as they think this through, who wanted to hold back for a while and said, we need to wait. I want to see how this works out. I understand that. But now people are seeing millions of people vaccinated, and they're making their decision, and their decision is based on what the science is, and that is that you're a lot more at risk not getting the vaccine than in getting it. In fact, getting the vaccine, removes so much risk of that COVID. So people continue to make those decisions, and we're not going to see the big numbers that we used to see for 80,000, 90,000 a day. But we're going to be in the 20s and 25,000, 30,000 a day, and we're just going to grind this thing out. That's first doses. Yeah.
Governor, you're saying that we're not there yet, but we're moving to a point this summer where no restrictions then for those who are...
Yeah, I mean, look, restrictions are you're starting to see them go away across the country. And basically, we have an obligation to make this available to everyone, and I mean really, really work at it. But at some point, there's a frustration level, I think, from people who have been vaccinated and who are saying, whoa, no, wait a minute. I did what what I was asked to do. Now, why do I still have to wear a mask? Why do I still have to do these things? We're not there yet, but that you can tell by talking to people. That's what people are saying to me, and they're saying, look, we want everybody to have a chance to get vaccinated, but at some point, I did my part.
Governor,
We're not there yet. We're getting there.
How about the rural areas? What's your biggest challenge there? What are you going to do to overcome it?
Well, we can talk about different groups. If you look at our counties, and we list them 1 through 88 every day, you'll see that we got a lot of rural counties where the uptake is not very high. But you also see some rural counties that are in the top 10 as far as uptake. So it's not just always, it doesn't always break out rural, urban. We probably do have better uptake in urban areas, suburban areas than we do in rural areas. But look, all we can do is continue to offer it to people. And my experience in life is that some things are a process. They just take a while. And you got to kind of work your way through the process. And that's what we're doing now. We're no longer where we've got this great built-up demand. We're now to the point where we got people who, we're thinking about it. And we're never going to get those people who are adamant, no way. We don't have to get them all. But the people who are kind of in the middle, ambivalent, these are the people we have to appeal to, and these are the people that I think you're seeing coming every day, and we're going to continue to vaccinate those. And our job, we've got, I think, 1,900 locations in the state of Ohio. How many you got in Hamilton County, Commissioner? I looked before I came. Let me look. I wrote it down. Let me see here. 69 I've got. Does that sound right? 69 locations in Hamilton County. 69 places you can get it in Hamilton County now, and you're going to see more because we're doing the pop-up.
Phase with the vaccines, at least Pfizer BioNTech is approaching full approval.
Yes.
How does that change the way the state approaches sort of the vaccine administration?
Well, I think you're going to see, with full approval, I think you're going to see private businesses more inclined maybe to make that an order and give people a certain date and say, I talked to somebody literally 2 hours ago on the phone, private business. I wasn't encouraging it or not, and this person said to me, July 1, we've already told our folks everybody's got to be vaccinated.
Why is that? What's the difference between full approval?
I think that there are some people. I don't want to play lawyer here, but I think there are some people that think that there is a difference if you're actually telling people, if you want to work here, you have to have the vaccine. I think some lawyers are making a distinction between the emergency level and the other. Again, I'm not going to comment on that, but I think there's a more comfort level we're seeing from people.
Governor, are we winning the race against the virus right now?
Well, yeah, I think we're winning the race. We're seeing cases go down in Ohio, so that tells me we're winning the race. But the race is not over. The game is not over. The big fear, and you can read it in many publications, some of you have reported on it. The big fear is if we don't continue to squash this down and it continues to circulate, that at some point it develops a variant that cannot be dealt with by Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson. And that is the big fear. Now look, I read all the scientists. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not, but the worst case scenario when you talk to scientists is that. And that's why it's just one of the main reasons it's so very important for us to continue to get more and more people vaccinated. That's what we just have to do. Anybody else?
Are there things you're most proud of or that keep you up at night?
I'm most proud of what community after community has done in this state. Hamilton County, Cincinnati is a great example. There's others around the state where they have literally thought, how can we take this out to people? And they've come up with interesting ideas, and they've executed on those ideas. So this is a battle that's won or lost at the community level. And so, what Hamilton County's doing, what Cincinnati's doing, what other communities are doing has been very good. I'm very, very proud of that. What keeps me awake at night? Yeah, it's wondering what else can we do. Trying to figure out what else can we do to get more people vaccinated. So,
Governor, real quick, I asked you on several occasions over the last 6 weeks or so about forcing people to start looking for work if they are collecting unemployment. You said you were going to look into it. I asked the lieutenant governor last week this very question. He was with the impression that you already had to look for work before collecting unemployment. We know that's not the case for people who had started.
Yeah. And so we looked at that. I mean, there's a couple of different issues, but one issue, so I've told our team that, the suspension in regard to work requirement that you're looking for work, we're put that back in. You need to be looking for work. I've already told our team to put it in place. They've got to follow whatever the guidance is as far as notice. I don't know that, but I've told them to do that. As far as that will be a requirement. And look, it's just getting back to normal. I mean, that was in there when we were at a different stage. We're now back to normal. We now have unemployment that is basically what it was before the pandemic. So it's now time to do that. So anyway, anybody else? All right, thank you very much.
One last question. So there was a GOP censure of Mr. Gonzalez today.
It's always that last question. It's always that last. I have no comment about it. Look, I've already expressed what I thought. So I'm not going to say it anymore. Thank you.